Let's smoke some pork loin. Today is this boneless pork loin. So let's get this out of the bag and let's get it prepared. All right, so this pork loin has 3 different cuts of meat in it. You have your loins right in the middle, and then you have 2 separate sections on the ends. I'm just gonna go ahead and smoke the whole thing all together, but you can divide and conquer there and do what you wish to the other ends. But like I said, for this cook, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the whole thing so I can go ahead and chop them up into loins afterwards. Little pieces of nugget heaven. This is a very simple cook. Not too much ingredients go into this. What you're looking at is trying to get some mustard as a binder that I'm gonna slather all over it, and your seasoning that you're gonna use. All right, so for this one, we're gonna keep it nice and simple. Just gonna slather the pork loin with some mustard. All right, now that you got your mustard on there, next thing you want to do is you want to add your favorite seasoning, whichever seasoning that you choose to put on there. I would suggest that you apply a lot of this seasoning, only because this is a very lean cut of meat, so it is going to need a lot of help with your seasonings. Now this pork loin, I got it at Costco. They did give me a full pork loin. Sometimes these are a little too big for a normal size barbecue pit. So if you have to, that's when you would go in there and you cut it into those thirds, or you can cut it right down the middle if you would like. All right, there you go. Next thing you would want to do here is, if you want to make it nice and pretty, especially if you're going to keep it the entire pork loin, I would put some, I just don't have any today, but I would put some pineapple slices here, boom, 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 boom. Put some half cherries in between, put some toothpicks in the middle, make it look nice and pretty. But like I said, this is going to be a very basic cook today. I am going to go ahead and put this on my grate, so I can go ahead and put it on my smoker. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing fat side down, because the heat source is coming from the bottom. I want to try to protect it as much as possible, so fat side down on your cooking grate. All right, so for this smoke, I'm doing it offset. As you can see, I have my fire on one side. I'm going to do an offset so it can be a smoke. The temperature here should be about 225 to 250, depending on how fast or how slow you want it to smoke. You're looking for an internal temperature of about 145. Once it hits 140, 145, we're gonna go ahead and pull it out, let it rest, and then go to town on this. Well, I'm gonna add a couple more steps to this, but the only other thing that I'm doing here is I'm putting in some of these internal meat probes to check for the internal temp. I do have a link on the description below. All the products I use on my videos, I have links on to Amazon if you guys are interested. But all we're gonna do here is wait till it hits about 140, 145, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the next step, and then I'll show you what to do next. This is gonna cook pretty quick. It shouldn't take too long to cook or to smoke, so don't go to sleep on it. Make sure you have an eye on it. I'll see you guys back when we get to about 135, 140 to show you the next step. Okay, so we're about an hour and a half into the cook, and like I said, you got to keep your eye on this thing, because this pork loin, the temperature does creep up on you pretty quick. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can bring this over to the right there. That's one of the temperatures on one of them. That's 140, and this one already hit 145. That's about an hour and a half worth of data right there. So what I'm gonna do at this point, 2 options here that you have. At 145, you're done. You can pull it out, let it rest, and then afterwards we can chop it up or slice it up and eat it. But what I like to do here is give it a little bit of a little extra taste to it. Let's see what it looks like. Son of a biscuit, this thing is hot. Oh, that looks good right there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna go ahead and throw some barbecue sauce on this bad boy. Gives you an idea of what the back looks like. Nice. So let me flip this over. Smother some barbecue sauce on this. Remember, this was the part that had the fat on it, or had the It was the bottom part with all the fat. We're gonna smother it. Flip this over, put it back on its regular side. Now I'm going to move, if you can, move it over a little bit closer to your fire now, because the actual smoking part of this is done. Now you want to get a little bit more of that grill to it. And we're gonna smother some barbecue sauce on top. As it stands now, what the USDA is recommending, 145 is cooked. You should have no problems. You are gonna have a little bit of pink on your meat. If you're the type that does not want to see any of that, you think that's still not cooked, you would continue cooking it. Well done for pork is 160, but 145 is a safe eating temperature for your pork, especially this lean cut of meat. What I'm gonna do here is go ahead and just give it a couple of minutes to smoke with that barbecue sauce. We're gonna pull it out, let it rest, and then go to town. And there you see the final product, guys. It's what I gotta do now is you wanna let it rest for a couple of minutes before you cut into it. So let's go ahead and let this rest. I'm gonna wrap it in foil and let it rest. Just let it slide on down. Recommended rest time is a minimum of 3 minutes. That's a minimum of 3 minutes. I am gonna let it rest a little bit longer than that, just so that, you know, it gives the meat a little bit of a chance to rest a little bit more. But minimum of 3. You can go as far as 15 to 20 minutes. I will get back to you guys when I'm starting to cut this baby up. All right, so it's been 15 minutes. It's been resting 15 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and slice this baby up and enjoy. Just get a nice little slice. You want to cut these into like about a quarter of, about a quarter of an inch of thickness. A nice little smoke ring all the way around. Always a good sign. That's the beauty of smoking on a traditional barbecue pit. And this knife is going through it like hot knife through butter. Hardly ever any resistance. Getting towards the center of it. Let's see what the center looks like. Nice, very juicy, very moist, not dried out, which is what you always want to see. And then this would be right at the center. Look at that. Now the juices are coming off. I'm not even squeezing it. You shouldn't squeeze your meat. Don't squeeze your meat, please. I know I've done it before in my other videos, but I have learned that please don't. I know it looks nice and pretty and stuff, but don't squeeze your meat. Wow, wow, wow. And this thing looks good and ready to eat. Again, if you hit it at 145, you're gonna get the same result. You might get a little bit of pink on the inside of your meat. That does not mean that it's undercooked. It's recommended to hit at least 145. Once you hit the 160 mark, you're kind of getting to the well done portion of it. But just to be 100% transparent with you guys, I did end up hitting this at about 150, and even at 150 you can see all these juices coming out over here on the bottom. Oh, man down, man down. Look at that. Look at all those juices coming out over there. Nice and juicy. All right, guys, this has been the Smoking Beard. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you like this. Please leave a comment on the bottom. Once again, thank you for watching, but I'm gonna go ahead and give this little baby a taste test before we wrap this up. Oh yeah, very juicy. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Catch you guys on the flip side.